All over the world, organizations and companies are talking about change, all the things they're going to change. But I don't believe that they've actually learned from some of the biggest fiascos in corporate change in our history. You may remember this. About 40 years ago, there was such a thing called the typing pool. And it was a room filled with mainly women who sat in rows, and for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, they typed all day long on a manual typewriter. And then there was an evolution in the technology. That's right, the technology evolved from the manual typewriter to an electric typewriter. Well, that was evolutionary, and it didn't bother most people. Most people could stay there and keep doing it. And then the agents of change descended upon the typing pool like vultures to announce that a brand new change was going to happen, that they were going to introduce, and that was the time when word processing machines came about, and they were going to introduce these brand new machines to revolutionize your work. It was a fiasco. Those people resigned by the thousands all over the world in just about every country. And that was the end of the typing pool. No more typing pool because most of the people left. They said, I'm too old to learn this. But let's think about it. The agents of change who descended on the typing pool talking about revolution in the work. But now let's think about those people actually doing the work in the typing pool. If you've been typing for 5, 10, 15, or 20 years, are you really motivated by revolution? Probably not. And back in those days, we didn't understand those below-conscious motivation triggers from the language and behavior profile, from the lab profile. Now, if we had known about those triggers in those times, we could have totally changed how we introduced all the new technology. And this is a lesson for any kind of change that you want to introduce. Now, if someone is doing the same job in the same way for more than 5 or 10 years, chances are they have what we call a sameness trigger. And that means they're motivated when things stay the same, nothing changes, same circumstance. And they have another trigger. And this motivation trigger is called procedures. And that is they like to follow a procedure, step by step by step. And when you're in a mode when you want to follow procedures, you want to be given the procedure and you want to start it, follow it step by step, and you're very motivated to complete it. Someone who's in a procedures mode loves to complete a task. And if you interrupt them, they get all upset. So let's imagine that we did understand way back then during the typing pool and the introduction of the new technology, we did understand that the people we wanted to introduce all this change to had sameness and procedures, motivation triggers. What could we say? How could we go to their bus stop? Well, we tell them we've bought some machines. Don't say new. New is not motivating when you have a sameness pattern. We've bought some machines. And these machines have exactly the same keyboard as you've always been using. You see, that's sameness language, exactly the same keyboard as you've always been using. And it works exactly the same way. Now, you want to add a little tiny bit of change because these machines are, in fact, a little bit different. Plus, these machines, plus, that means incremental change, plus these machines have extra keys that allow you to work easier, correct mistakes faster, and find any document much easier than before. So all of this easier is evolutionary language. And then you say the thing, la pièce de la résistance, that makes it all okay. And we will teach you the procedure for using them. So here's how you introduce it. We have bought some machines that have exactly the same keyboard as you've always been using, and they work the same way. Plus, there's some extra keys that allow you to work easier, find documents quicker, and correct mistakes easier. And we will teach you the procedure for using them. So if you're introducing change, that's the way to go. Don't focus on the change, focus on what's the same and the how-to. Make sure you give people the how-to.